Hello everyone, it's bedtime with your boy. So tonight, a little something different, a little horror story, Trick or Treat by KyBedroomEyes. I decided since I was so tired, I wouldn't hand out candy to the kids tonight, but instead I would just relax and watch the usual marathon of scary movies that run this time of year. I went to the kitchen, fixed some popcorn, and turned out all the lights on my way back through the house. The living room was very dark now, with only the light from the moon shining through the bay window at the front of the house. I laid down on the couch and got comfortable as the movies were starting. I guess I was more tired than I realized, because it wasn't long until I fallen asleep and started to have that reoccurring dream. In my dream, I was upstairs asleep in my bed, when suddenly I was awakened by a loud crash. I sat up in bed and quickly looked around the room to see what the noise was. As I scanned the room, I seen the glass double doors leading out to the balcony were standing open wide. I got out of bed and approached the doors cautiously. As I neared the doors, a thick fog began to pour through the doorway and fill my bedroom. The fog was so thick I couldn't see anything. When all of a sudden, I noticed a silhouette of what appeared to be a woman walking toward me. As she got closer, I could see what she was wearing was a black trench coat that was held shut by only two buttons just below her breast. She had long, flowing red hair that fell over her shoulders, beautiful green eyes that seemed to peer directly into my soul. She was a very voluptuous woman with a very sexy and curvy body. When she got to me, she took her hand and ran it up my arm to my shoulder and across my back as she walked a circle around me. I was terrified and wanted to run, but I couldn't move. It was as if she had me in a trance, and I was helpless to the power she had over me. She pushed me back onto the bed and walked to the foot of the bed. She undid the two buttons just below her breast and slid her coat off her shoulders as it fell to the floor. Under her coat, she was wearing a black corset that was cut below her large breast. As she stood at the foot of the bed, she lifted one of those breasts to her mouth and sucked her nipple between her lips. Then she put one foot on the edge of the foot of the bed, and I could see she was wearing a thigh-high stocking without any panties on. She unhooked her stockings and slid them down her legs off to the floor. She crawled up the bed towards me, licking my legs as she did so. When she reached my waist, she tore my silk boxers off me and threw them to the floor. She took my cock in her hand and began stroking it before starting to kiss the head of it softly. As she kissed the head of my cock, she wrapped her tongue around it and then took the head between her lips. She slid her mouth down the length of my shaft, working her tongue around it as she did so. After a few minutes of this mind-blowing blowjob, she climbed on top of me, positioned herself right above my cock. She reached down, held my cock up, and lowered her wet pussy onto me. She slid down slowly, taking me inside her inch by inch until I was buried completely inside her. Her hips began to move slowly up and down, meeting the thrust of my cock, and her body squirmed as she continued to move up and down on my cock. She leaned down, laying on my chest as she began to kiss me deeply. She was moaning with me now, and sat up straight so she could ride me harder, thrusting herself onto me. As we both built closer to the climax, her movement became more intense as she was riding me harder and faster now. She put her hands on my chest as she slid down my cock, taking every inch as it's deep inside her. She started rocking her hips back and forth as the head of my cock began stroking her G-spot and her fingernails started to dig into my chest. She clenched her pussy tighter as the walls of it gripped my cock tighter. I felt my cock begin to throb and draw me closer to eruption. She threw her head back and ruled my cock vigorously as I felt her pussy explode all over my cock. As she continued to ride me, I felt my cock throbbing as she started to come. As I shot each spurt of my hot cum deep inside her, she took my hands in hers and raised my arms above my head and pinned me down. She looked deep into my eyes as she leaned in and kissed me passionately. As she broke the kiss, she whispered something to me. She told me not to be scared, that she was falling in love with me and only wants to spend eternity with me. I'm not exactly sure why, but I felt a calming feeling come over my whole body, as if everything was going to be alright. I closed my eyes as she kissed me softly on the cheek and then made her way down my neck. Her kissing were becoming more aggressive and grip tightened on my hands pinned above my head. Then all of a sudden, I felt a sharp, piercing feeling on my neck as I felt my body go limp. It was then I realized that she was a vampire. She had just bitten my neck. After a couple of minutes, she raised up from my neck and told me she would see me soon. And just like that, she was gone. I woke up in my bed, not remembering coming upstairs. I quickly glanced around to the balcony doors, and they were standing wide open. I was a little scared, but thought maybe I just woke up completely from my dream. Yet I decided to go splash some cold water on my face. I walked into the bathroom and splashed some water on my face, and I looked into the mirror, and a loud scream escaped my throat. As I looked into the mirror, was two small holes in my neck from the bite in the dream. And suddenly I seen her in the mirror looking back at me. It was just a dream all this time, wasn't it?